not your mama's art show. Yeah, wherever we go, it's not your mama's art show. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's not your mama's art show. Yeah, not your mama's art show. Yeah.
Hey, welcome to Not Your Mama's Art Show. Today, well, first off, I'm Zach Jones. I'm new to this. To my right is Chelsea Aiken, and today we have the Dark Lord of Waco, Texas.
Yeah, what up,
Sean Skellington.
motherfuckers?
With his patented monster from Necroelectric.
From my life in general.
Yeah, pretty
Were you
much.
one of those kids that had like a chain with the caps on it?
No.
Tabs?
With the caps on it?
With the tabs?
Like he made
Oh, like kissing tabs?
No, like these.
No,
Like
I know.
monster Yeah.
Oh, I'm from California, so I don't know.
That was like a big thing when I was in school. Like the tabs, everybody would put it on like a chain.
That's fucking weird.
It's like, how many monster tabs have you like drank, I guess?
Well, I don't even want to know. No, where I'm from, we used to bust them off. They're called kissing tabs, and you just give them to broads when you're like 10.
Oh.
It's just a way to...
That works. That works. They do some different things in California.
Yeah.
Which is
Sounds
awesome.
like it.
Shoot, I'm from Nevada, so not far
That'd
off.
be weird. It would cut you up if you had like a ton of those tabs.
I guess, yeah. I remember seeing them. Just kids just
Yeah.
had like rings of them because they thought they were badass drinking
Yeah.
Monster at 16 or whatever.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, it was whatever, man. Dude, it's so good to see you in here, man. Awesome
Yeah,
to have you
dude.
back. So when did you start doing art, brother?
I don't know. Like my whole life, dude.
Whole life?
Yeah, pretty much. I always have like my whole life. I've made a living almost off of art in different forms. You know.
Yeah.
So like little kid shit. Like I did the same exact shit I do now. But
Yeah.
then you'd go to art class and your teacher would be like, "That's not art, man." You know, like art is like Renaissance age, realistic. Like you could touch it. You know, kind of art. you know,
Yeah.
and this is like bullshit. And so that would like discourage me, and I would just
They're just
you know,
like, you're trash.
yeah, keep it to myself. And then I did music, and then I did tattooing. You know, I did a street shop thing for like almost 10 years.
Heck yeah.
And then that kind of ruined art for me because like street shops, you're just doing flash all day.
Yeah.
And like you're like, oh, do something cool, come in, get something cool, and they're like, let me get an affinity sign. You're like, fuck, bitch. It's my third one today, you know, like. So and then it becomes like work.
Well, it should be like Wayne's World, where it's like it says no stairway to heaven. Instead, it should be
Yeah.
like no infinity signs, crosses.
All day
or-
was script and fucking infinity signs and friendship shit. I lived in like a weird town. It was just
Oh, my God.
soccer moms like tattoos, so it was
That
weird.
sounds awful.
Yeah. And then I gave that up once I sold my shop, and then I moved here.
Moved here to Waco.
Yeah, I started doing marketing and stuff for other companies, and then and then obviously I opened my shop,
Yeah.
and then I just started. Well, the pandemic hit.
Oh yeah.
And then, Facebook's toxic, so I just started painting again, not giving a shit if people liked it or not.
Oh
But
yeah.
then people started buying them,
That's badass.
so then I just busted it all out.
And you do it like on different mediums too. You do like tables and jewelry boxes and stuff
Yeah.
like that too, right?
Yeah, I met Lori Love is from Texas, and when I first opened the shop at our first market, she had like a table that she had just like done like some Alice in Wonderland shit on or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, that's inspiring. That's cool, man. You know? And so I was like, oh, I'll do some monsters on my own tables.
Hell yeah.
And then I posted pictures, and then people are like, hey, let me buy it. You know, it's like, sure.
There you go. That works out
Yeah.
really well.
And then just from there, it's like ever since the shop's been open, I sell, a few $100s in art every week, sometimes day. So
That's badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously you're inspired by the horror movie genre, which
yeah, that's all I care about, really. I
Pretty
brought you guys some stuff.
oh, dude,
These are some of my prints.
Hell yes, that's amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So you use like spray paint and acrylic?
Yeah, I kind of so like I'm not like an art snob or anything where I'm like, oh, I gotta have like all the proper tools. Whatever I have is what
Hell
I have.
yeah.
And Scoob turned me on to, because I used to just do black and gray,
Yeah.
and then Scoob turned me on to, he's like doing colored backgrounds, and I was like, all right. So I actually spray paint all my canvases first, and then I'll just go kind of etch, and then I'll spray, like with this one, it's kind of a weird one.
That one's
So
awesome.
I spray painted the fuck out of the canvas, and then I just did a general shape of her face with the blue, and then with the fucking sweater and shit. I mean, you can see my spray paint marks, and then I just go in with a brush, whatever brush I have. I tend to use the like Japanese script brushes,
Oh, that's great.
but I ruin them all the time because once you touch acrylic paint to spray paint, it'll harden your brush and you're fucked after that painting.
Thank God those are cheap. Like the little acrylic brush. Oh my God. Like I've gone through so many of those like Michael's like $5 set of brushes or something like that.
That's where it's at, dude.
I don't want to go spend $16 on a damn brush. Like I'm not going to take care of it. I know myself as a human being. I'm the guy with the messy room. I'm the guy with like, you go in my room and like, it's just paintbrushes stuck in water still. Like and they haven't painted in like 2 days. And it's like, well, that's about it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and my art doesn't call for like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's trashy art is how I look at it. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. I think that's some of the best shit though. Like that's the best stuff. It's better than the fucking like some of the gallery shit that we see every day. You know what I mean? Because that shit's just.
But that's where I feel those brushes. If you're trying to like replicate life, then you need all those tools. But if you're just trying to draw some monsters and fucking make shit look cool, fucking
definitely. So you're obviously inspired by horror. So like I gotta know like you can just recommend. I know the whole like 3 favorites is like a bullshit question, but like what are like 3 horror movies that you just keep going back to?
As far as like coolness or
Or
like,
just what you like? Yeah.
I like Monster Squad. You guys remember that one?
Yeah, that's a great one.
Hellraiser is my all-time favorite. I don't know if you see my office, I have like all Hellraiser everything.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I like really weird movies like Disremember Mama or like Nightbreed. Just like off.
Clive Barker's Nightbreed. That one's that's a small like one. It's amazing as hell though.
My mom was like a waitress, so she, there's like I don't know if you know my backstory or whatever. My dad was a murderer. He murdered a guy. Went to prison.
Fuck.
He was an outlaw. Like all kinds of crazy shit. I was raised by bikers and stuff. And my mom had me when she was 15. She dropped out of school and then she became a waitress. And then we had like zero money. So like basically she would prep my meals like on the floor, like in plates, like wrapped, and then I would just chill in our apartment all day. I just raised myself on, and she was an avid horror fan.
Yeah.
So we had all these VHSs of like horror, like just random shit.
Oh yeah, my mom was the exact same way with horror movies. Like I remember being 6 and watching Saw for the first time and just being utterly traumatized by it.
Yeah. My mom was into 70s movies.
Yeah.
Which they're the worst, especially for like if you're like 6 or 7 and your mom's like busting out these vintage movies that are just gnarly. There's like gore and just everything,
Back in the day with the sheep's entrails and like all that stuff that they would use, it was nutty. My grandma lived with us back when I was a kid. Like we lived with my dad, and she was catatonic. Like she didn't do anything except for smoke cigarettes, drink Coke, and like sit on the couch and watch 2 movies. One of which was Child's Play.
Nice.
And so one of my scariest moments was like I was like 10 and I walk in and like Chucky's like got the bag over the dude's head in the car and he's like just strangling this dude and I'm just like traumatized going
You seen I have the original dolls from the 90s. Yeah.
It freaked me the fuck out when I went on your podcast. I was just like, no.
Did you guys see the newest one?
Yeah, we watched it in theaters.
Yeah, it was actually really good. I liked it.
I thought it was good. Yeah, I thought it was great until the ending. I thought they copped out on the fucking ending.
Yeah. I don't know.
With the cop like not. I thought if I directed that fucking movie, I would have had the cop still think that Andy killed everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For them to do the 10-year-old like beat down of the doll at the end and like happy ending.
Man.
I was like, oh, that's fucking lame. But everything else up to it I thought was dope.
Yeah, all those 80s and 70s freaking horror movies usually don't end very well anyway.
Especially if you watch the weird ones.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. So yeah.
So how long have you been like owning your own business? Like I know you recently moved to Texas, what, like 2-3 years?
2 years almost. I've never been one for like a job. I'm always working. That's the sacrifice is I work 7 days a week, like probably 12-14 hours a day doing things.
Yeah.
But I don't listen to anybody. I do what I want.
Yeah.
But that's been my whole life. Like I've like even in high school, like I kind of cheated my way through high school, and I got to go to art school my senior year, and I got a associates in associates in industrial art, industrial printing.
Okay.
At like a trade school type thing.
Sweet.
Yeah. And then I just left and I went on tour and played and then came back and just worked odd jobs to pay whatever I had to pay.
Yeah.
And then and then just tattooing, because that was another kind of, you're working but it's freedom,
How long have you been? You're still in a band, right? Like when did that start?
This current band I'm in,
Or in any band that you've
I've
been
been playing in
general?
bands since I was like 12.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Always death metal bands, punk rock bands. Last Nail in the Coffin started as more of a deathcore band. It's the band I'm in now. But now we just put out a new music video for a cover song of Night Prowler from AC/DC.
Oh yeah.
So we've been doing a little bit more rock stuff. Zach worked on us on a video, the last one we did, Love and
nice.
Ghost.
Badass. I love doing that. I was like working with Sean on his video stuff. It's always fun as hell. So you still doing that movie you were doing?
Yep, it's still going.
Oh my gosh.
It, just got delayed. Jordan got married. She had a big wedding.
Yeah.
And then, the fucking COVID, trying to get
Yeah.
people together to all in one area at one time,
That's
doing it
always the
safely.
worst.
It's hard.
No, that makes total sense. Where'd you come up with the idea to do that? Like
The movie?
The movie.
I'm always pushing, because I love my podcast. I love my podcast, and I love Kylie and working with Jordan and everything. And I don't know, whatever I can do to just expand on it.
Definitely.
It's fun.
And you got the Skellingtons as well, which is like the
Yeah.
web series, which is dope as fuck. Like it's like got the Oddities vibe. Remember that, like the TLC show, the Oddities or the Oddities of New York or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like
yeah.
those,
Way
it
back in
has
the day.
that kind of vibe to it, but like it's more relatable than those
Yeah.
crazy. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
well, that's
dug
the
it.
thing with our shop. It's that's why we're a curiosities and not an oddities
Yeah.
shop, pretty much. We're kind of both, but we emphasize on the curiosities, because most oddity shops are like weird antique shops where like you go in, they're like, oh, check out this 1840 fucking anal stretcher or something. It's like nobody, that just freaks people out. And,
Yeah,
and
just a
it's
little bit.
teeny tiny niche market. We have like a lot of spooky stuff, but then our store is also kind of like an adult Hot Topics. We have like all kinds of cool fashion, from like Living Dead threads, Dark and Jury, which is my company, and Modern Ministry, which is Kylie's, and
Heck yeah.
we have collectibles and just a little bit of everything. But
Little
many-
taxidermy ducks.
we have
so
lots
cute.
of taxidermy ducks.
And Kylie does those, right?
Yeah.
Those are the best. Oh my God.
She loves taxidermy art.
I don't know why. I keep getting the freaking Funko Pops that you keep bringing in. Like, I picked up a $35 Frankenstein from y'all just
Nice.
and I was like, dude.
Oh, you got the one with the flower?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
that thing was super. Well, I mean, that's a deep cut. That's not just like, oh, it's Frankenstein. He's got the little flower from the first movie.
Yeah.
With like the little girl, which is just amazing.
And they're hard to find. Like, the second those things hit the shelves, they're gone.
Oh yeah,
Because people just buy them just to eBay them and shit.
fucking the worst.
Yeah.
So speaking of music again, one of the funniest stories I've ever heard you tell is how you got your first guitar.
Yeah.
Can you tell us that story?
You talking about the one that which I've had so many guitars. You talking about?
Remember, you stole the one dude's guitar, and you told the
Oh yeah,
skateboard.
for the Silver Legacy show. Yeah. So yeah, that was the whole thing. So in Reno, I was in this metal band with all my friends, and it wasn't Silver Lake, it was the Hilton. The Hilton had just opened a brand new club right in the middle of the casino floor. It was called the Garage, and it had this giant fucking stage like the Van Halen or something you could play on. But when you look out, it's just a sea of coin machines. And all the old fucking ladies and shit, they're all just facing it, And then we had played a club that was really popular in Reno called the Del Mar. And like, all the, System of a Down, Incubus, like all those Papa Roach, like back in the day, they all came through that club. And since we lived there, we could pack it with all of our friends. So the booker was just looking at numbers, like, okay, what local bands like bring numbers? And then they're like, hey, they hit us up like, hey, they didn't listen to our music. They didn't know we were like this crazy fucking band. And they're like, do you want to play this show? And we're like, yeah, fuck yeah, we do.
Nice.
And then we all kind of huddled and we're like, hey, like, no matter what happens, like, let's not hit the distortions. Let's not scream. Let's not do anything until like we got the green light and ready to go. And my bass player Nick Caprioli, at the time, we were trying to upgrade all of our stuff, so he pawned some stuff, but you had to be 18 or something to buy. They had some weird rule, right? And then he basically screwed him over, you know? And my buddy Beaker had a bass at his house, and we called him up and we're like, yo, we need this bass for this show or whatever. And he was like, nah, man, I'm out of town. Like, you guys are fucked, whatever, find somebody else. And then so we're like, nah. So we went to his house, and then we broke into his house, basically. We broke into his room. You know, he was our friend. And then we went in, we took his bass. We went and we played this crazy show. Yeah, they were like, can you guys sound check? And we were just doing like, you know, like As My Guitar Gently Weeps type shit.
Yeah.
You know, we're just acting like we're a soft rock band, radio rock band. And then we got the green light, and that's when we hit the death metal pedals, and people were like putting their hand, like the old ladies were putting their hands on their ears and all that kind of stuff. And yeah. So
There was another story where you were like, you were talking about how you were like walking down the street and you took this skateboard or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And then like I guess you had a girlfriend who had like some guy's guitar or whatever.
Oh yeah. Christina's. Yeah. Yeah, that was my first electric guitar.
There you
Yeah.
See, I did my research.
Yeah.
Listen to way too much Necro Electric. Shout out for sure.
Yeah. That was her stepdad's guitar, and I was like, Can I just steal this? And she was like, sure, I guess. And I just went out the window.
That's awesome. Also, didn't you have a point where you were breaking records on stage or something like that?
Yeah. So we used to, in San Jose, I was in a band. It was a screamo band called Unconventional Thought Process.
Yeah.
And we had a point where we really had a really big following at one point in time, and we played a festival called Rise of the Underdogs, and it had like all kinds of fucking just like First Blood, like just a bunch of really cool screamo hardcore bands. And my thing was that I used to go to the thrift stores and I'd buy a bunch of Beethoven records and I would just break them just to be kind of like stupid and artsy, and I would throw them into the crowd, right? And, you know, people write stories about it, like, oh, this guy's weird, you know?
Yeah.
But at Rise of the Underdogs, I was breaking them and throwing them into the crowd, and kids were picking them up, and they were cutting each other with them. And, like, a big brawl broke out, and, yeah, I got banned from doing that.
One more musical.
Lawsuits threatened.
How many venues do you think you've been banned from?
In that band particularly, at least, like, 20 or 30.
Holy hell.
Yeah, we were all about just like the highest energy that we could bring.
That's awesome.
And we had a core following that went to almost every show, and that was at my I had nothing to lose at that point in my life, you know?
Definitely.
And we brought that energy to every show.
Heck yeah. No, makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you've probably heard some stories about the San Francisco ballroom.
Yes.
Yeah, we were. Do you want to hear that story?
Yes.
All right. So again, another booker had just seen the numbers. They had seen our numbers in San Jose, seen the numbers in San Francisco. They had this big thing. It was called the Suicide Girls Ball, and they had just a bunch of bands and Suicide Girls and everything. And the whole entire thing was like bands that were like The Used and, you know, like Taking Back Sunday, like kind of heavy, but not what we were bringing. And they were like, okay, well, we had a band cancel out. Can you guys come? And we're like, yeah, for sure, we're there. And then we put it out to all of our hardcore fans. And then the guy was like, show up there like an hour early. There's like a press thing for the San Francisco newspaper. And then we showed up, and there was like a line to talk to them. So we're like, fuck it, let's go get like some apple beer, because they have like these apple beers down the street. And then so we missed our press thing, and we're the second from the headliner. And so we came back, and the dude was like bitching us out and all this stuff. And he only had 2 security guards, one at the door and one on the top balcony area, kind of watching everything, because it was a real chill, like, you know, a lot of these kind of people, like, you know, doing that kind of shit. And then when it was our turn to come up, the place was packed. Everybody had a bunch of drinks. And then all of our fans were outside smoking and just being delinquents. And then they all kind of funneled into the middle of the thing. You could see a sea of black T-shirts like coming into this like hipster fucking event. And the Suicide Girls were being like stupid. They were like, there was 2 of them, and they were like making dudes do push-ups and like just like dumb shit. And they were like, and they had these little gift bags, and they were going on and on and on with like like just these dumb rituals that they're making people do. So I was like, all right, enough of this shit, right? And then I just went and I kicked the bags into the crowd, and then I kicked one, and they had a beer mug in it, and it like went flying, and it hit a girl in the head at the bar. And so the security guy's freaking out, and then the sound guy, I told him, hey man, like get the mic stand away from me, because like mic stands like in that band where like I got hit in the head, people almost get impaled by those things, right? So I'm like, don't give me a mic stand, just put the mic on the stage and we're good. You know, and he was a fucking asshole, and he didn't want to be told what to do. So he took it and he wrapped it all the way up the mic stand, so I couldn't do it. So I got there, and then I saw that after I kicked the bags in, and my people are getting rowdy. And I'm like, all right, so I just undo it, which is a big no-no at a show. It's like, wah! And I unravel the whole thing, and then I pick it up and I javelin it right into the green room door on the side of the stage. It just stuck right in there. There's a little girl punk band. They were like a San Francisco, like, I forgot their name, but they were chilling in the green room, and it just stabbed through the door. And they're like, what the fuck? And then and then I just plugged it back in, and then we opened up the pit, and like they had no control of the venue, and we just went fucking nuts. And then we got banned. So then we had a great time, pretty much. There was a fight broke out at the end, and then we went home, and then a few days later I got this letter, or it was an email, and it said like, you're the most disrespectful, like, unresponsible, like, ridiculous band I've ever worked with. You guys will never play this venue again. You'll never play it was something Monkey Productions. You'll never do that again or whatever. And I printed it out and framed it. And then a year later, as an add-on, we got an email that said, hi, it was another booker from that company. He said, I was reviewing your numbers and wanted to invite you to the Suicide Girls Ball. And I was like, yes, I would love to play that. And then, but then the owner guy, he intercepted it and shut it down.
Got it. Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Freaking
balls to the wall, dude.
So, is there any particular like artists that inspire you that you look at?
I mean, locally here is what inspired me to start painting again. You got my boy Scuba Velli, who was on your show. You got Lori Love. You got Zach. You got Russell Campbell, Armando Ramirez, Danny Flores, T. Aguilar. Ali. All these people.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a huge like melting pot for like just a ton of like painters and stuff like that.
And everybody's got their own little style. It's really cool.
It's kind of badass for sure. It's definitely been cool to see like your style like completely like change, because I remember when you were doing it on like just the sheets of paper and it was black and white, and then you got brought in the color, and then they got bigger, and then the freaking furniture came in. It was just like, holy shit, how many of these is he going to do? Yeah. And it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I remember there was a point where I was trying to have a competition with you in my head. I was like, I'm going to do as many pieces as he does. And I lasted about 6 days.
Yeah. Yeah, I have like an extreme OCD. So like if I don't have anything to do, I'm a total asshole. If you ask my wife, like I need like 10 things going on. I need chaos like at all times. Yeah. And once I fixate on something, like it becomes part of my life. And yeah, I paint probably 2-3 pieces a day.
That's awesome. I mean, that's like the biggest record that I know. It's like I can't do that just yet. But yeah, definitely. So you went to art school in high school. What do you think about that?
Yeah, Glen Hare was really fun. It wasn't like a traditional art school. It was a trade school. So they focused on like the bullshit, like become a graphic designer to make greeting cards, and this is how you print them industrially,
Yeah. So like the business side of it kind of a way?
Yeah, and I mean, you had projects, you had to they had real clients, like companies in Reno that would come to the school and be like, hey, I'm opening a coffee shop, And that's when I hated, even though I do graphic design now for a few companies, but I hated it in high school because like, it was a tire shop was my first one, and I did like a super elaborate like tire logo, and I thought it was super cool, and then this other asshole just did like a little circle with like a cheap lettering, and then they went with him, and then it's like you
spent all that time working on that.
Yeah. And then I don't like working, like I work well with others but not really, what I mean?
Definitely.
Like as a collective, I can lift people up, I feel like, but if me and Zach had to like do something at the same time, like I don't know, I'd fucking lose my shit. You know what I
Same.
mean?
Yeah, no, I
But I
got
could
you.
I could draw something and you could add to it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
definitely.
And that would work. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Doesn't play well with others. That makes total sense for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, that's most artists. I feel like that's a lot of artists, though. I mean, like it's very much like you have your specific idea that you want to get across, and then it's like you can hand that off. But like working with two people with that same creative mindset is a bitch and a half because like getting it to like work and flow correctly is just one of the most impossible things I've ever done.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, music like fucked it over for me because like I've had multiple bands and these were with like lifetime friends and we put so much energy into these things, you know, making these
Yeah.
records, like working all these jobs to make the money to pay for these, to go on these little tours and to do this and do that. And then one of them just goes like, I'm out, you know, I'm over it, you know? And then it's like, that's why I just went solo. And then, you know, and then when me and Kylie got together, you know, obviously like, you know, if she bounces, we got bigger problems. So, you know what I mean?
yeah, no,
So,
definitely.
But yeah, I think that like kind of traumatized me in a weird way. That's why like my band now, it's like my main person that I always write with is Greg Shepard. He's
Yeah.
like one of my best friends in the whole entire world. And then I've rotated bass players and drummers, but right now Corey Zimmerman's playing bass and Landon's on drums.
Definitely, that's
And
awesome.
they're cool.
When it comes to songwriting, what are your inspirations for that? Like, you know, what are you like pulling from like personal experience, that kind of shit?
Kind of whatever's happening at the time. Like you could look at my life and see like in my darkest days, I'm playing like straight deathcore,
Yeah.
like fight you music, you know. And then,
Yeah.
like nowadays is like I'm having a lot of fun right now.
Yeah.
You know, with everything, like having these events, because it's weird. Like where I was from, I would do the same kind of stuff. You know, like I had the tattoo shop, I'd have these events, but nobody would come. Nobody gave a fuck, you know.
Yeah.
And then here, for whatever reason, people are like they're into it.
Well, it's a rarity out here. I think that's the thing, is it's not something that's normal. And like, so people like are like, oh shit, there's something going on. I got to be a part of that, because like it happens so few and far between out here, it seems like.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's like once something pops off and it's actually genuine, everyone's like, oh fuck, I want to get on board, and it'll bring all the freaks and everybody out. That's
Yeah,
like,
because the
awesome.
freaks here, they're kind of like,
By the way, we're
low
putting
grade.
ourselves in that group as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
We're not.
Yeah, I have heard that like people will be like, oh, every like 5 years, somebody will have like one event, and then and that's kind of it until the next one.
yeah.
Where we're like, you know, just
It's
like the
constant.
artists. Yeah, we're constantly just knocking them out.
And you guys are constantly at like the shop, like having like, I saw you guys had like a music event, like you had like a person
Yeah,
playing
well,
music.
that one's
and-
Kylie. Kylie, that's why I married Kylie, because she's very similar. Like all the
Yeah.
chicks that I've ever dated and stuff before, they always want to like, you know, change you. Not to sound like a chauvinist or something, but pretty much every relationship I ever had until Kylie, like people, they didn't go with it.
Yeah.
You know? They're always going against it.
Definitely.
And she's just as, we have the very similar personality traits, and she dives very much into the same kind of work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In Mod Ministry, she's knocking out new designs constantly.
Definitely.
You know, and then her taxidermy, like if she has spare time, she's doing that. She's working on the store, and that's her event. It's cocktails and crystals,
Heck yeah.
and that we have tarot card readers there,
Yeah.
and then we just incorporated some live music with Isis Lee,
That's badass.
and I think we're gonna have T Aguilera.
Yeah.
Aguilar.
Aguilar.
I always call him Aguilera.
T. Aguilera.
Shout out to Christina.
Heck yeah, that's badass.
And y'all have a kid too. So
Yeah.
damn, work-life balance. Let's go.
Bane Draco Skellington.
Bane Draco Skellington.
Well, that's why we moved to Texas, is because of him. Because so after I closed my tattoo shop, I took a marketing job basically, and I would have to commute an hour and a half. And this is when he was first born, and then work 8 hours, and then commute another hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours back home, and then I'm barely seeing him. Here I go and I work like constantly until about 1 o'clock, and then me and Kylie switch out, and she'll run the store, and then I spend time with Bane, and you know when he naps, I paint
That's
Nice.
awesome.
and stuff. And
That's a hell
all
of
my
a
other
life,
little
man.
things. Yeah, so
That's
I
awesome.
actually get to spend way more time with him now. So
Heck yeah. Bane Draco Skellington. That if he is not like just the baddest rock star, like like it's gonna be the biggest thing I've ever seen in my life. That is the baddest name ever.
he's living up to it.
Hell yeah, I'm
We,
sure.
we recently painted all the walls in my house black, like nice,
Yeah.
because I turned my back for like 2 seconds, and he grabbed a Sharpie and drew on every white wall. Like I don't know. I was amazed at the amount. I was almost not even mad because I was like, how? How, dude? And then I had to call Kylie. Oh, shit.
I'm sorry.
She's like, what were you doing? I was like, I was painting. I turned around for 2 seconds, literally.
Jesus Christ. Kids will be kids, man. That's awesome.
But now our house looks way cooler anyways.
Oh, I'm sure. So you, I imagine you guys live in like a castle on like some hill with like a bunch of bats flying around, like, or like maybe the Munster house in the middle of Woodway.
Yeah, it's in Woodway, so it's we have a lot of elderly neighbors. I don't know. It's a really random. It's a nice area. I don't know.
That's awesome. That's freaking awesome.
I am gonna paint my house black though.
Really?
Yeah, black and white.
Oh my gosh.
Right now it's brick and white.
Like the Beetlejuice like lines going up and down?
No, just black brick with like the white trim with the black roof.
I'm just shooting ideas out, right? it's like that's the house. There it is. Then people know where you're at and be like, oh no.
Have you ever been to my house?
No.
Oh yeah. All right. I'll invite you guys.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, we have little get-togethers all the time.
Appreciate it. Yeah, that'd be amazing. That's always cool. Freaking A. So yeah, man. So what do you think of like the art trends like spin art, flow art, like the guys that just like take like a can of paint, throw it over something and just kind of
I don't know.
it's whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I like your art. You have abstract backgrounds, but I feel like you need substance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you focus on an image in the middle of all, and sometimes
Definitely.
multiple images, and it's you need more than just the splatter.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Unless it's like Russell Campbell's done some really cool kind of like flowy paintings.
Yeah, definitely.
They kind of remind me of like maybe like an ocean at night or something. Like if it kind of has that vibe, then that's cool. But you know, people just like putting shit on a string. It's like I feel like
yeah, I don't think there's much skill like when it comes to that. Like if
there's
you're-
no passion.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Like if you want to do an abstract piece, like make me feel like you're doing something. Like I
Yeah.
don't know, that's where I get
Or
annoyed.
cut yourself, or give it like some interesting like
Yeah, like give it some
Some
Jackson
blood
Pollock.
splatter.
yeah.
Like I don't know, like Jackson Pollock's like you can look at those things for days and like they still look badass and they still look like there was something in there.
Well, and he used a lot of different techniques to do things. It wasn't. I feel like when I see a lot of that stuff, it's you know, it's kind of all the same. You know.
Yeah, and it's all passe and it's all been done and then 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 done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like anyone can do it, but if you can do it well and like add something new to it, I think it's good. I don't know.
For sure.
But-
But if you need a DeWalt drill to make a painting, like I don't know, man.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. I was going through TikTok the other day, which I don't know why I'm on that thing. It's just social media, I guess.
I mean, I do like watching those dudes in like Peru or whatever, where they'll just do this random shit,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because they've done it like 1,000 times, and then
Yeah.
they keep going, and then at the very end, they're like, and it's like this crazy like you know, portrait or sunset.
Oh
scene.
yeah, or it's upside down and it's just like then they flip it over and it's
Yeah.
a portrait of like Obama or
It's
something like
fucking
that.
the Mona Lisa. You're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Definitely. Yeah, I was flipping through it the other day and the dude had a DeWalt drill but he had drawn something in the middle. Like he drew something in the middle, put all the paint around it and then spun it.
Oh, I saw that.
and I'm
then
like-
you don't even see what it is anymore because there's just paint everywhere.
Yeah, it was better than
I mean, I guess it's entertainment, but like,
no. And now art's getting to that weird point where it's like stress relieving and like you-
Oh yeah, like those videos where people just like cut Play-Doh or
yeah,
whatever.
I'm just like, dude, like, oh god, like to me that's low art. Remember in school where they would tell us like fucking drawing monsters or fantasy shit was like low art, like comic books was low art, stuff like that, and like high art was like what we were talking about, like Mona Lisa. No, that's high art, and like all that's high art with skill, but all this other shit to me is like low art.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I just want to know the mental state of somebody that's like cutting sand or like the soap thing. Like,
Are they just like
they're probably like serial killers or something.
Yeah.
Like, they're like that OCD.
they're just
I
that
don't know.
calm? I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't do it. I'd be like shaking and just like nope, looking like he's about to cut a key bump of cocaine.
Oh my gosh. Key bump.
Key bump. I'm not even sure I know what that is, but
Somebody was
You
dressed at the
specifically
bar.
said key bump.
Yeah. I'm not sure I know what that is.
I watched Pulp Fiction twice. Okay.
Somebody on Halloween was dressed as a key bump in Coke. It was like a couple's
That was their whole
costume.
costume?
Yeah, like the girl had cotton, and then the dude was dressed like a key.
So bad.
Zach's like, yes.
Key bumps.
Jesus Christ.
Shout out to Zach's mom, dude.
Oh yeah, she was something else. Shout out to True Love, I guess, providing us with that story. Yeah, there were some interesting costumes that night. It was weird. I don't know.
Yeah, we went. You guys hooked us up. We went in there. You got me in.
Well, that was funny actually. So like Sevi like runs up to me and she's like just talking really fast, and it like there's karaoke going on, and I'm like, she says a name, and then she says, I'm just trying to get him in. He's in line. I don't know what to do. Can you let him in if I pay you? And I'm like,
Pay you?
And
She's
I'm
trying
like-
to bribe you?
and
Shout out to Sevi, dude. Dropping them bills, dude.
I'm just like, I don't know. I can't really do that. And she runs off. I'm like, nothing's connecting in my head. And then I see Kylie coming in, and I was like, oh, I know exactly the person she was talking about. And I come out and you're in your like Dracula cloak. And I was like, oh, fuck me. Here we go. And I'm like, what am I going to do here? And this is going to be incriminating as hell. But
Oh yeah, you're smooth.
Eric,
Get ready
don't
for this
listen to
one.
this.
so I like walk out, and there's a huge line of people, and I look over at Sean. I'm like, hey man, you're here for that business meeting? And
Yeah,
Sean's like,
he said that so loud. So I was at the end of the line, right? And then Kylie was like, or somebody, Kylie or Sevi, somebody, was like, come to the front by the door. I was like, all right, cool. And then I could hear everybody like, what the fuck? Where's he going? What the fuck? You know? And then I'm by the door just like on my phone. And then Zach comes out. He's like, are you here for that business meeting? Like, yeah. Well, let's go talk to the manager. He's talking to the manager. You know, I was like, smooth, dude.
it wasn't.
Oh God. That's so funny.
I'm like as smooth as one of those like spike rubber balls that you buy in Walmart, the ones that you like throw at a wall and it blinks.
It was tight, though.
That's about it. So yeah,
You're the door dude. You just go out and be like, fuck you guys.
I mean, yeah, but you know me.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a teddy bear. But damn it, now everyone's gonna have True Love and be like, he doesn't matter.
Everybody's gonna listen to this and be like, give you shit for like the next 2 weeks about it.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. So after this, I'm going to need a job. So anybody looking to employ a giant teddy bear, please let me know. But anyway, I think that's all the time we got, guys.
Dope.
So thank you for coming in, Sean. I really appreciate it. Always cool. And we'll see y'all next time.
Boom.
Yeah. Not your mama's art show. Yeah, not your mama's art show. Yeah, wherever we go, it's not your mama's art show. Yeah. It's not your mama's art show. Yeah, not your mama's art show. Yeah.
This has been Rogue Media Network Podcast.